What Savanna went through was a traumatic event in the life of any child. Academicians, juvenile law experts all agree that strip searches are traumatic events for children, and this was no different. Here, a school official rummaged around and on the body of Savanna Redding without any suspicion that she may or may not be possessing ibuprofen pills. That search goes too far. That's unreasonable. It's an unfair search. That's why parents and teachers around the country have supported Savanna in this case. It would just be shocking and a nightmare to parents around the country to think that this search can happen to their child. The school should have and could have taken seriously an accusation that Savanna perhaps provided ibuprofen at some unknown time and in an unknown location. But with that and without anything more, to force Savanna to take off her shirt and her pants and to rummage on or around her body just went beyond the pale.
You got a fairly skeptical greeting from the court today, and it wasn't just conservatives. And all of them basically said, okay, we don't like the facts of this case particularly any more than you do. But what if it had been meth? What if it had been crack? Shouldn't school administrators have the ability to search a student's backpack, and if they don't find anything, if they have some reason to think that she has something on her, shouldn't they, in order to protect the safety of this student and other students, be able to ask the student to disrobe?
In America, we don't allow searches just because you don't find something somewhere else. That's just not how we do searches in this country. To think that the school officials could have conceivably just guessed that Savanna was possessing ibuprofen underneath her underpants was just unreasonable, and we don't allow guesswork to dictate searches underneath a 13-year-old girl's underpants.
Aren't you in effect, though, asking the Supreme Court to create a zone which administrators, principals can't go anywhere near, a place where students can hide contraband that administrators under no circumstances can search?
No, that's not right. We didn't say that strip searches are across the board unreasonable. Now, 7 states have said that. That's where they have set their balance. That's not what we've said. What we said is that if they had suspicion, in a good deal of suspicion, that Savanna was presently possessing drugs underneath her underpants, maybe that search would have been fine. But that is far from what the school officials suspected here.
So the probable cause make it less traumatic? Is that what you're saying?
No, this search was traumatic no matter what suspicion they had of Savanna. They forced Savanna to take off her pants and her shirt, to reveal her breasts and her genital area to her school officials. All for what? All for a search and a futile search for ibuprofen.
Did we take from Savanna or her mom just briefly?
They're not going to speak right now. They may be available later, but not right now. Thanks.
Hearing the case today, what their reaction was to the discussion?
Yeah. Well, they're glad that this is being aired, that there's a national debate on this, because that's important. School officials, I think, as a result of this, will conduct fewer and fewer of these searches, and it's not like they were common in our schools anyway. So to be able to have this and to be able to have this discussion is great, but what needs to happen is for the court to say that this type of search was just unreasonable on these facts.
Mr. Wolf, was it important that the school only had one tip, one uncorroborated tip? Is that important?
It is absolutely important. What this search had, what the school officials had here was one uncorroborated tip that one student in the past had possessed ibuprofen pills. That and only that. And that cannot possibly form the basis to strip search our children.
Mr. Wolf, at the time the search was conducted, did the assistant principal know that the drug in question was prescription strength ibuprofen?
Yes, the school official knew that he was looking for ibuprofen and naproxen, which is also an over-the-counter anti-inflammatory pill. That and nothing more.
How is Savanna doing today? How is she? She's in college now, and can you just comment on how she's doing today?
Sure. Savanna is in college now. This was a traumatic search for Savanna, just like it would be for any child of her age. And so she carries this around with her. She thinks about this search every day. There's not a day that goes by that she does not think about how her school officials viewed her naked body.